Welcome to another Jazz Matters podcast. Today we're going to have Mr. Emrah Kotah, percussionist right here in the city of Atlanta. Is also doing some stuff in movies and so forth, and he's got a lot going on. And also right here, my trusty companion here is none other than Vaughn Coulter. What's up, Vaughn?
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Atlanta. Good afternoon, all that are listening in today or watching us live here for Yes Jazz Matters, that podcast that talks about all things jazz. It's a pleasure being with you again. Here, Mr. Edwin Williams.
Yes, I am in the house. Yes, I am in the house. But today we're going to be talking about all things jazz around Atlanta, which is a good friend, Mr. Emrah Kotah. And he's going to chime in on us in any second now. And we're going to hear from him and his perspectives on what's going on here in the city in the way of jazz. And anytime Emrah is ready, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and see if Vaughn, we lost a couple of people here lately within the last month. Musicians, Mr. Obi Jesse and Mr. Freddie Cole, and
indeed.
There's been a few others, and it's just amazing how things are going right now. With not only having to deal with that, but having to deal with where we are now in the world, as far as what's going on and everything. So we're still here at Jazz Matters going to try to continue to keep you up on what we're doing. Jazz Matters is a nonprofit organization, and we're here in Atlanta, and we've been here now. This is our 5th year, and we'll be, like I said, we'll be joined today by Mr. Emrah Kotah, and Emrah is in the house right about now. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop yapping and let you, Emrah, let you go ahead and tell, just let everybody know who you are and a few things about you, and we'll take it from there.
Cool. Nice to be here with you all. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for having me. And I'm Emrah Kotah. I'm a drummer percussionist from Turkey. And I came to United States in 1999, and I have received my master's degree in percussion and jazz studies at Georgia State University. And currently I'm playing professionally. Actually, before pandemic, I was playing more, of course, but currently, I teach at Agnes Scott College. I'm a jazz faculty there. I'm a director of jazz ensemble and world percussion ensemble. And, I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, man. As a matter of fact, it is kind of an interesting situation we're in as musicians right now, where we can't feel the feeling of the audience anymore. And it's what it is, but we got to work through it. And I'm pretty sure, we're going to get back out there for sure. If you're not too busy right about now, can you give us some of the stuff you're into right now? Some of the things you're doing now, or are you doing anything online right now, Emrah?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have been doing a lot of recordings and experimenting with this wonderful app called Acapella. And I've been doing a lot of recordings with that by myself, just playing all the percussion instruments and doing a lot of experiments between the world rhythms.
Yes.
Mixing up with the Middle Eastern rhythms, with the Afro-Cuban rhythms or African rhythms, and post those videos on social media and the musical platforms. It has been very, well received, and really, I could say pretty successful. I got a lot of wonderful feedback from my videos. Other than that, just, working on my music, practicing every day. And, artistically, I'm trying to get better of, what I do, even though, it is strange times right now, but it shouldn't or doesn't stop me or anybody, any of us, to not to get better at what we do. And also I didn't mention, but I also do acting. And you know, I've been getting some auditions. However, you know, I've been kind of you know, suspicious about if I should take the certain, you know, things yet. But I have one other audition that I received. I was booked, unfortunately, so I couldn't do it. But you know, things like that, you know, just working on artistically getting better, and as a person trying to get better as a human being, you know, it's just a growth. It's a process, you know.
Right. Now, Emrah, Vaughn is also an actor, both
wonderful.
stage and screen. So you guys should have a lot to talk about.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes,
Vaughn.
indeed.
Yeah, well, welcome to the Society of Actors, Emrah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a journey for sure. It's
Oh, it is. It truly
great
is.
journey.
I was going to say it's you know, actors have often been compared to musicians because we practice a lot, we rehearse a lot, we study a lot. The craft requires it for us to do these things. So it is a pleasure to know that, you know, you as a prominent drummer and percussionist are also exploring the world and the craft of acting, because it's
the same thing.
both run parallel. The same thing, absolutely.
Same thing, man. Especially, like, I found it's very interesting, especially in jazz and acting. I found similarities in it, because, you know, you have a script, but you also have, you know, depending on a situation, but you also have, you know, element of improvisation.
Absolutely.
So you play on the moment, in the moment. You do
the moment. Yes,
but
sir.
on the moment, same exact thing when you perform in, you know, wonderful art form jazz. You do the same thing. You have the dialogue between the instruments, the way you know, have a conversation, carrying your conversation on the moment. And I found so much, you know, connections in between jazz and music, especially jazz and acting. And that's probably why it's, you know, draws me too much for, you know, being an actor as well, other than just being a musician.
Well, I totally agree with you. And the thing that I notice most about it, because I've been at it for over 30 years, it's the connection of humanity. It's the connection of one-on-one conversation. And it's like, you know, as a trio or a quartet, everybody's expressing themselves in that moment, you know. And what the main byline is truth.
Absolutely.
We're very honest about what we bring to the table amongst each other, and the chemistry is magic. And it's just like a, you know, an ensemble on stage performing, you know, expressing themselves and their voices and their instruments, and our bodies as actors are our instruments.
Absolutely. It's so many beautiful connections, and I love and love to explore and more, and hopefully get some more experience as well, you know.
Yeah, and just to not feel like the Lone Ranger here that's left out of the crowd of the actors, so to say, since I'm surrounded by actors. Well, I have made my first debut in doing acting, screen acting, which is interesting, and we don't have to get into it, but, you know, I'm saying I'll let you know when it happens. Let's say it like that.
That is beautiful. That's important, brother. That's great.
That's cool. But as far as the music now in Atlanta, since you've been here, Emrah, what do you find most challenging about being in this environment and having to have music be, I would assume that it's your sole occupation, you know?
Absolutely.
So since you've been here, what have you found, what challenges have you found doing that?
You're talking about the before pandemic?
Yes, yes, of course.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's the challenge is, I mean, first of all, I think the most challenging thing is, as musician, for us, for all of us, in my opinion, is the marketing. Getting the audience and bringing people to your performances and letting people know. as a musician, we can only do so much. We are trying to get better at our craft, but sometimes it becomes, you got to do everything. Like you got to be very social, you got to be active, and getting a lot of connections and talk to people and try to get people, let people know about your performances or concerts and things like you want to share your artistry with people. But sometimes the challenge is, you know, to bring people to your performances. I found that a little bit challenging. I mean, you build your friend base or your fan base, whoever follows you, that's cool. But I found that there's such an incredible music scene in Atlanta. You know, easily to me compete with major cities like New York and LA and things like that. But to me, I think the industry is lacking as well in Atlanta. So for jazz musician or any musician, we're talking about instrumentalists, we have a lot of opportunities to play and a lot of great musicians to play with, which is a very plus. And there's incredible music scene here. But the challenge is, you know, we depending on the venues and depending on the clubs or concerts, you know, it should be more, my opinion, it should be more secure for artists, some reason. You know, in for example, in Europe, it's different than here. Like France, they have a huge budget for artists, the government helping out with for artists to provide their arts and things like that. I think that would have been something, you know, very productive for us. And other than that, I think traffic is another challenge. That's, you know, I want to be honest. So, but other than that, everything is wonderful, and I'm really blessed. I feel blessed to be in such a wonderful musical and artistic environment in Atlanta, because we have so many incredible talents like yourself. You know, I mean, I get to play with you many times. It's just a blessing to play with incredible musicians, incredible talents, and it's all over the place and different style of music, not only jazz. Like, you know, you find almost every genre to perform, you know.
Right. And the thing is, with Jazz Matters, see, what we were trying to do, or what we are doing, is giving musicians and artists a platform, so that when you compared it to other cities like New York, where you can actually, you have funding that the state provides, basically.
It's France, actually, not New York. I don't think New York has it. I mean, New York might have it too.
They have just they have, you know, these smaller societies, but there is budget for whatever, you know, organization that's putting it on. So that's what we're basically building ourselves as a go-to organization for the resident talent here in Atlanta, because there's so much of it. And we kind of want to make sure that we give musicians and artists, singers, a platform to work with. And if, like I always say, if you go to, or you can tell people to go to yesjazzmatters.org, we do have a donate page on there, and by us being 501c3, we can, you know, take donations, and all we do is basically put it right back into the community, into the arts, because that's basically what we do. And in a situation like the city, there used to be, we talked about this on another show, where there was many places to perform. Like when I first got to Atlanta here, I didn't have a deficit as far as playing, performing. I mean, and just like you said earlier, in all genres of music, I was doing pretty much everything you could think of. And it was always there. It was plentiful, you know. The culture of the music at the time that I came through was a lot richer than today. But the thing about it is, and I missed that. That's basically the reason I put the organization together, Jazz Matters, because I know what is expected of most musicians here, and I know that they really want to, you know, express themselves live, and the only way they can do that is they got to have a platform to work with. There are many small restaurants that have music, but realistically, it's just a background feature. It's not featuring an artist in performance. It's just a background feature. And what we're trying to do is give you center stage. We're trying to give you main stage exposure. And just like this summer, we normally have a jazz series like since the last 5 years. And you and your group has been there once. We wanted you back again, and we want you back again anyway. So the thing is, the experience you had out there, you know what I'm saying, it was growing, like way past where we thought it would be. And it's just a platform to where we were going to make it better, a lot better this year. But due to the circumstances, of course, that's just what it is. But we're hoping for next year. And we really want the resident talent to be exposed and to have a platform to work on. And you can always go to the website, yesjazzmatters.org, and find out how you can get in touch with us and communicate. And other than that, we are also trying to branch off into other things. The streaming situation right now, we're trying to do that because everybody's locked down. But for the most part, we're not giving up the hope. Let's say it like that. We're not giving it up, and we're gonna always try to keep it front and center. Now, what is Vaughn? Do you have anything like Vaughn's radio station, Jazz Beat Radio, is a really good avenue for a lot of musicians, and we kind of hope that a lot of people will tune into his radio program simply because he can get your music played, of course, over on the air, internet, and I know you, Emrah, have a couple of. Don't you have a couple of CDs?
I have one.
I know you had one. Yeah.
Yeah, one. But I played so many. As a sideman, I play so many different projects.
Right, and that's the only thing about being a sideman. When you're real good, you don't have time for yourself.
I'm honored to play with everybody. Actually, it's actually sometimes good to be a sideman. You don't have that much responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
But it's good to be having on your projects as well. Like yourself, you have your own project. I believe you enjoy playing your music, but also like other people's music too.
Right. So Vaughn,
I wouldn't have any problem connecting with the people at Jazz Beats Radio. My show is quite prominent on the station, and I have a huge listening audience, and I would just be ecstatic if I can get Emrah's work.
Oh, you can get it.
Being played on, Jazz Matter, the Jazz Beats Radio. Yeah, absolutely, Emrah. If you go ahead and send us some stuff, you can send it to me at my my email. It's voncoulter.fm@gmail.com. voncoulter.fm@gmail.com. And we'll take a listen. And I know, at least I can tell you right now, I can only imagine, that if Edwin gives you the endorsement, I know it's got to be great stuff. So you would fit in perfectly with what we're doing.
Oh,
Thank you. I'm honored. I appreciate it.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. You would definitely, his programming is great. And it's definitely where you need to be as far as, the way you're spreading out and everything, Emrah. And we hope that you can get a chance to do some more work here in the future. And what we're gonna do though, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up because this time passes so fast.
So fast.
And but we'll be glad to hear from you. So any place we can catch you, Emrah, before we go, any place you're appearing on net or whatever?
At this moment, you can check out my if you're on the social media, I have an Instagram and Facebook page. I post my work there, and I do a lot of collaborations with different musicians from different parts of the world. I did a recording not long ago with this two Brazilian, one bass player, one guitar player, and then I did a big band recording with Carrollton Jazz Band, Carrollton Jazz Ensemble, big band. We did the virtual big band.
Is that, you mean in Carrollton, Georgia here?
Yeah, Carrollton, Georgia. I play with them. I play with the big band there.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
Yeah, before the pandemic, but yeah, we just, you know, right now I think they're trying to get back together again, but it's you know, we did this project together, just everybody recorded from home, and you know, we put together as it's on YouTube. It's just wonderful. I do a lot of, you know, virtual collaborations with people, and I collaborate myself. I play all the instrument myself here. I play a bunch of percussion. I start, you know, do cross-culture rhythms. You know, like I said, I mentioned it before, I play Turkish rhythms with West African rhythms, Brazilian rhythms with, you know, odd meter signatures and things like that, you know, trying to be experimenting and come up with something unique and hopefully enjoyable, you know.
Right. And that's like I was saying, we'll be glad to get back out there hopefully next year and get to see.
I cannot wait for people, you know, actual people, hopefully, you know.
Right. There you go. But this is I'm Edwin Williams, and we're here with Emrah Kotah, also with Mr. Vaughn Coulter of Jazz Beat Radio. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And we'll hope that everybody would go to the website, which is yesjazzmatters.org. That's yesjazzmatters.org. And you can see exactly what we're doing. And if you really wanted to participate in some of the things we have coming up, just drop us a line, an email or something. But other than that, Emrah, good to see you again, man.
You, brother. Thank you.
It's good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be with you, man. Thank you.
Right. So that's us. That's it for us. And we hope to see you again on the next one. We will be airing one on the 13th. That'll be the next jazz podcast, and it'll be featuring Mr. Michael Cruz. So it should be up on the 13th, which is Monday at 7:30. So you can go to Facebook or YouTube to see, you know, the performances and so forth. It starts at 7:30 p.m. All right. Thanks, man. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Ron.
Thanks,
nice
Emrah.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
Yes.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Edwin Williams here for Jazz Matters. Thank you.